My review of Star Wars Rebels Season 3, Episode 16, Through Imperial Eyes. So off the bat, I just want to say part of what I predicted for this episode to occur, being the entirely in the first-person view of Agent Kaz, was wrong. It wasn't, but it's still neat how they did that for the opening scene. I kind of wish they had continued that throughout the rest of the episode, because it would have been kind of neat, but I can understand why they didn't do it. Takes it's a little more unique animation required because you gotta do more like, because people's heads move all the time, so you got to be more careful. You gotta factor in that, and so it's more animation. So I can see why they only did that for the opening scene. But I would love for someday there's a full animated movie or episode like that. But anyway, on to the episode. Definitely very enjoyable and very for the develops the overarching storyline in Star Wars Rebels. So now I'm going to start talking about some spoilers. So if you haven't seen the episode, make sure you go and see it. So basically in the episode, Thrawn Thrawn asked, Colonel Yaren, who you might remember as Admiral Yaren from the Clone Wars, he's now in charge of the Imperial Security Bureau, the ISB, asked him to come to Lothal, to his Star Destroyer, so that he can find the rebel spy. And literally, they find it. Thrawn figured it out. Admiral Yaren didn't? I'm not Admiral. Well, he was an Admiral, but now he's Colonel. But Yaren did not figure it out, and when Thrawn revealed to him that it was actually Agent Kaz, Yaren was surprised by it. He was shocked that one of his star pupils could be the spy. And then I think Thrawn then commented that's why he was so hard to why he was so easily deceived. Which, yeah, I think Thrawn said that's why he was so easily deceived. Not only was Kaz one of Yaren's star pupils, but also being a star pupil, he was very skilled at that stuff. So pretty interesting there. And then, let's see, any other plot developments? But it was neat how Thrawn was able to do that. Lieutenant List was not the real spy, but actually Agent Kallus. Simply, it was almost too simple. It was when basically when he saw, I think when he saw the helmet that Ezra had in the episode. I think that's literally when Thrawn yep, got my last piece of puzzle. It's confirmed. I think he suspected it for a long time that it was Kallus, but I think in this episode he confirmed that it was Kallus. Though I do wonder what exactly is going to happen to this, because essentially publicly he's going to have to be known as the spy, but he's not really the spy. Someone knows that, so what he's going to do? Probably just Someone will just keep up the rules that it was Lieutenant List. That way they can just get more done. And I suspect someone realizes that a plan was, because Chopper removed the plan of the rebel base from Thrawn's star map. I think Thrawn suspects that planet was removed, or at least a planet. He may not know exactly which planet yet, but I think he definitely suspects which planet that at least a planet, if not the planet, that will be the one that has been removed. Also, I think it was neat how he was able to deduce, excuse me, how Thrawn was able to deduce that the helmet that Ezra had was Ezra's, simply based off of the artwork, figuring that to be Sabine's artwork. And pretty good deduction skills. You would not have really expected that. Let's see, it was also neat to see Thrawn engage in combat. Other than Agent Kaz, there's no major Imperial character. Well, Agent Kaz is no longer Imperial character. He's a rebel character now. But when he was still an Imperial character, he was literally the only major one besides Darth Vader to engage in combat. But it's neat seeing Thrawn engage in combat against his own sentry slash assassin droids, whatever those were they were called in this episode. I think they were called assassin droids, but they were the same model as the sentry droids from a previous episode. I'm not sure about that, but yeah. I think that was definitely a neat episode. Let's see. Oh yeah, some neat thing on the stormtroopers. All the ones who had the pauldrons had the design that I saw on Star Destroyer has the Crimea has on the bottom of it. Also on all the stormtroopers pauldrons that we got to see, and I thought that was pretty cool. When the rebels were escaping, I was kind of hoping that they would have, that Rex's helmet would get knocked off and Euron would see Rex's helmet and be like, and call out to him, like, call out Captain Rex and like, Rex and like the fighting would stop for a brief second and then resume again. Kind of like, that. I think that would have been a neat inclusion to especially set up some future conflict, especially if Euron remains a pretty major character throughout. That is probably the biggest thing I wish they had included in that, besides maybe the entire episode from Agent Carter's perspective, his literal visual perspective. But you can't have everything. But I definitely wish they had, like, or at least you all recognized Captain Rex. That would have been something. So, that would definitely have set up some future conflict down the road because they knew each other from the Clone Wars, and it would have been interesting to see how it would play out. Still, I think Yarn will still remain for a while in the episode, in the season. We know he's going to survive because we saw him on the Death Star in episode 4, where he dies then. But we know he's going to survive Rebels. But I think he's going to make some more appearances. No, at least one more appearance. So I think it was neat how basically as I said earlier, saw introduced that it was Agent Chaos who was the agent, and how he's going to plan on using Agent Chaos, using Fulcrum in some way, probably to lure the rebels down by feeding false information. And judging by Swan's tactical mind, he might be able to do that successfully. He probably will. That's it I have for today. I have no future comments. I just can't wait for the next episode, wherever it may be. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and leave a comment down below. Share with your friends and subscribe to my channel for future content. I upload regularly on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and semi-regularly on Tuesday and Friday. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Support me on Patreon. Check out my Google site. Feel free to check out any of my other YouTube channels, The Art and History channel, John Berry, and Johnson Berry. Feel free to check out the video in the playlist on the screen. Have a good day or good night, wherever you are. Have a good one.